that coming. That was pretty great.
Yeah. That's okay. We're absolutely. Well, I'm gonna hang up on you because we're gonna go live. All right. See ya. All right. Bye. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging in there. Hopefully, you guys are back on. We've got a few people that are really kind enough to try to plug in right back. Yeah, we moved a little. It's very low and it goes in and out. Okay, so we're live now. So I may have to turn off a fan that I've got on the side. Maybe that's why it goes in and out. Anyway, if you guys can hear me, go ahead and let me know on the chat if you can or can't, because pretty soon we're going to have to get to know Walt one way or another. We're going to get through this, guys. It's a Friday evening. We are right now in Walt's Vault, and pretty soon we're going to play Walt's Waltz. Just kidding.
No,
Not going to happen.
not going to happen.
But just rest assured that we will get this straight, we will get it right, because this is the rehearsal space for the Lounge of Sound. That's my buddy Walt Faber on them drums. You want to say hi?
Hey, everybody. I guess it's good to see you. I can't see you, though, but yeah, good to be here.
It's very low. Lyles has no sound for some reason.
Really?
Is that any better, guys? Sound. Let us know. Chat. Keep talking.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear you. Keep talking. All right. So somebody is acknowledging that they can't hear us. Is there any way that we can raise the volume up there, all the inputs?
Go ahead, start talking.
I am talking right now. You guys hear? Now we can hear Walt, but not Walt.
Really?
Okay, hang on a second.
Okay.
You just raised my volume.
I did.
How's that, Patrick? Is it any better? No, not much.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to raise my volume here a little bit.
Finally,
Is that a little better, guys?
oh, boy.
Range trend bit rate is higher than the recommended bit rate. That's probably what it is. Anyway, it's no, cannot. Patrick, can you ever hear me? Yes, you can.
You,
You're a drummer. You're counting all the time.
yes. We count twice.
You're a guitar player that's been pushing the beat. You're a bass player. You're probably lagging behind. Put on funk, Lyle. Don't hold it against me, buddy.
Let's.
Musician humor. And if you're a banjo player, then you're not a musician.
So it sounds like they can't hear you, but they can hear me really well. And I'm not that interesting. You're not here to see me. Oh, boy.
Any better? I can hear myself. Loss of sound.
The lounge of sound is the lounge.
Sound.
The loss of silence. The lounge of silence.
Can you
Loss of sound.
hear that now? Guitar can be heard.
Oh, boy. What's
All right, so you can hear Walt. We're going to go ahead and start asking Walt a couple of questions as to who Walt is, how did we meet,
Oh.
and yeah, I mean, what's your earliest memory as a musician, as a drummer? What's your earliest musical memory? How about we start right there?
So I guess, wow, that's a good question. The very first musical memory that I ever had, right, was my dad. I didn't know my dad early in my childhood, but I found out that he was a drummer. And I guess I really wanted to be one. So I went into the kitchen, I got a pot and two pencils, and decided I was going to try to make some noise, and drove my mom nuts for about 20 minutes. And so that was my very first musical memory, I suppose, as far as trying or attempting to make music. Just share Walt's mic is what I'm hearing. Oh, okay. I guess that was dead air. I was just, let's see well, I guess that's it, though, on my first musical memory. But from that time, I've always, how about now? guess now's the time for me to tell my best drummer jokes because I. Oh. Yep. Uh-huh. Okay. Wow. Okay. So guitar is good, and my mic is okay, and you don't hear anything else. So we decided we were going to do a remote location, I guess, in the sense that normally Los is at his house, and we would try to play together, and I can't play my drums at Los's house, so that's why we're here at my place. And we got here an hour and a half early and started setting up, and everything seemed to be just perfect, and now it is way less so. So that's probably, there's probably a lesson in there somewhere about setting things up the day before. Can barely hear Walt's voice now. Okay, loud and clear. Okay, this. Oh boy. See, you came to hear Los, not me. I'm not really that interesting. But what do you want to hear? Oh, okay. How did I got into music? Because this is actually kind of an interesting story, I suppose. So when I found out my dad played drums, I then joined the elementary band, and because I figured that'd be a good place to learn. So I went to the very first class, and I was sort of a wild man. She wanted us to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I was much more interested in playing, whatever rock and roll song was going on. And so she decided immediately that she did not like my style of playing. And so after about 6 weeks, she sent me home with a report card in music, which I promptly opened and did not give to my mom. And it said that, let's see, I got an F in just about all of the marks, including potential. So I got an F in potential in music. But no, it's really true. And what it is, it actually really motivated me. And what was cool about that is that I quit that band, but I heard a band playing in the park, and I went and played with that band. And I actually learned how to play music with that little band. So Lois thought I was being negative, but she was, that wasn't a very nice thing for her to do. But it did motivate me to really want to play. So I guess in adversity, yeah. You really put me on the spot here, Lois. So, hey, Lyle, how are things out there in YouTube land? I don't know if you can hear us yet. Hello, Patrick. I don't think I know you. I know Kennedy. I've talked to Kennedy on the phone. Oh, well, that's good. That's way better than what she intended. By the way, I did get an A later on. Yeah. Years later, I did. Yeah, but not different teacher, but different teacher. Yeah. But an A in music for sure. By the way, just let me know. Can you hear my voice now? I did change some settings. Let us know on the chat, please. And thanks for hanging in, you guys. At least you're not. Oh, right. And I guess they deserve an A. You deserve an A. And yeah, for being cool. All right, guys. So you can't hear my mic for some reason. So I'm trying to get the crowd to know who Walt Saylor is and how he got started on drums. And he has some really great insights when it comes to music, especially about staying positive, about working on your art and craft. And right now, he's being a little too humble because he had some really interesting things to say. And I'm going to kick him off just by saying perfect is overrated. That's something he said. What do you think about that? Is perfect overrated? And yes, you can hear me now because I'm using his microphone. She says, perfect is overrated. I mean, what do you mean by that? Perfect is overrated. Well, as I tell my wife when we go on vacation, that if everything is perfect, then, you know, we have a good time, but it's not an interesting story. So it's when things go wrong a little bit that it becomes an adventure. And adventures are memories that you remember for a long time. And they're things that you tell the stories. Remember that one time when we were someplace and then this happened. Well, music is similar. If everything is perfect and everything goes along a certain pathway, then it's extremely predictable. And that is fun, I suppose, but that's what like elevator music is. But when we take risks, there's the potential for a crash and burn, right? That's just what can happen. But it also may be something very, very special. And it reminds me of Miles Davis, who famously paid his band to not rehearse their songs. They already knew the songs, you know, the structure of the songs, so they wouldn't practice their solos, so that they were walking a tightrope when they were playing. And I always thought that was kind of a cool idea in the sense that when you're walking that tightrope on music, like you're playing live, and somebody points to you that you need to play something, it may be terrible, you know, but it's in some ways that might be better than perfect, because there's some excitement there, there's risk that's involved, and the audience can feel that energy, and certainly when you're put on the spot, you can feel the energy. So that's what I meant by perfect is overrated, because, well, perfect can be boring. I mean, I think we've all been somewhere and somebody's talking, like maybe right now, where things are going a little bit wrong, and there can actually be a little bit of interest in that. Now, we want it to be played well, but we don't necessarily need for it to be perfect. So hopefully that makes some sort of sense. And
in today's music, people tend to too caught up in the laptops and all the plugins and all the
right.
you know, the compression and all of the tools that they use. It seems like anybody they can even record in the
Right.
library, and they've got all of these things and they're squashing all of these
Right.
things. And you have like 64 different
Right.
tracks.
Right. You could have perfectly boring, perfectly written, perfectly, you know, not that great, right, music. And I think that's what we end up with in some of modern music, is that it's perfectly executed, but in itself is quite boring. Well, I'm all the way. So
Okay, so also has a slapback delay for some reason. No sound still on you, Los. Okay.
should we call it?
Should we call it and just quit?
I don't know.
Do you have a track that you can play along with? Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. So you guys.
So my big concern, Los, is that if this is the only live mic, that means none of the drum mics are working. Good what? What if you?
Can you hear my voice? We can hear the guitar. What about my voice? We keep hearing the guitar.
Hey, Los. I got an idea.
We may have to. Okay, now can you hear me? Check. 1 2 1 2. Microphone check. Can you hear my voice now? Microphone check. 1 2. Can you hear my voice? Yes or no? Yes? No. Let me know. Whoa, that's a hot signal there. Yes. All right. All right. What? Can you hear Walt? Can you hear Walt? Loud and clear. Okay. Yes. They said yes. All right. All right. We are, I don't know what to tell you. Can you hear the drums now? Put on his original sound. Yes. Okay. Walt is low. Can you hear his drums? Please let me know. Yes, drums, yes. Let's play.
since you can finally hear the music, I'm going to go ahead and play Hearts Fall because we're falling behind. Bum. I keep stirring more than cream into my coffee as a memory comes slowly back to me. I carry a picture and give it something to hold, 'cause memories like autumn leaves, they'll stay amber and gold. Hearts will fall, hearts will fall. She makes me happy, so how can it be that a heart can be in love and still be lonely? And hearts will fall, hearts will fall, hearts will well, she holds her coffee close just to feel a little warm, while he dreams about a girl he used to know. And hearts will fall, hearts will fall. Hearts will fall. Hearts will fall, hearts will fall. And that was Hearts Will Fall. I'm hoping you guys were able to hear that. Shirley, thank you. She says, yes, sounding great. Yeah, Hearts Will Fall. We played it a little bit faster and a little bit more upbeat because we just a little sense of frustration, I think, right? It's all right. Can you hear Walt now? I think they need to hear your voice on the mic. Unfortunately, it's a little low. Is it? Can you hear Walt talk? Yeah. Anyway, we are in sunny Portland, Oregon. We finally got a dose of, I was going to say a dose of Los. You don't want that. I haven't had my coffee yet. Yeah, it says can't hear Walt talk for some reason. Oh, boy. We can't? Okay, I'm going to take the mic off, and I'm going to interview Walt like this. All right. Anyway, so, yeah, we were talking about how it's summer now, and, hey, now at least you know for sure he is taller than I am. That's okay. I'm still a boss. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm 6'2", so that makes Los just 6 foot.
That's it. All right. So earlier we were talking about his earliest musical memories. So let's suppose, because the guys don't know who you are, so let's suppose that you were being interviewed by your favorite, what's your favorite drummer magazine?
Modern Drummer, of course.
All right, Modern Drummer. So you're getting interviewed on Modern Drummer. What kind of question do you think they never ask and they should be asking someone like you, a drummer?
Ask the question that no one has ever asked before. That's what you're asking me. Oh boy, Los, I have no idea. Mostly they ask what are your influences and what kind of gear do you play? That's always a big interest to people. They ask how did you get into it, right? So what question they don't ask, I don't know, man. You're gonna have to come up with that one. I guess you're the interviewer, not me.
Okay, so since I'm the interviewer and because this is the audio part is not going so great, I'm gonna let you guys take a look at his drums. These are some incredible drums. These are called indie drums. And so I don't know if you guys can see them from where I'm at. I'm letting you see that. They're beautiful. I don't know, what kind of finish is that? And can you tell us a little about your drums? Where are they from?
Okay, these are from Michigan. They're made by Indie, which is an independent drum lab. As far as they make drums for working drummers. So it's a boutique, but not too expensive. And this finish was custom. I saw it at the Chicago Drum Fair, this exact drum set. And I contacted him and said, I need these. And he gave me a price that I could not refuse. It was a perfect price. And I ordered them, and he sent them to me, and I love them. Oh, you want me to take it? Okay. So that's how I got these particular drums. And so they are designed more for the working drummer than to be something that's stuck in a room somewhere that somebody admires. That they are pretty.
What kind of finish is that? Can you tell us the color, or because I know the non-musicians, I know you guys like the eye candy. So what finish is that?
Well, actually, it's a custom finish that he's only made a couple of. I don't think it actually has a name. Perhaps Surf Sparkle might be the right term. To me, it looks like the ocean, and then it's got sparkles in it. So I imagine maybe the ocean at night would be what I would call it. But he only made one of these. There's not one that looks exactly like this. So this was the show, the one they had at the show.
Very cool. So I'm a car kind of guy, and you guys are in Detroit. A few of you guys are in Detroit, and he said that you are from Michigan. Are they from Detroit, Michigan?
Yes, they are from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, so again, there's a little common thread going on. There's a little love affair going on between Los and Michigan. And I miss you again. that was a reach even for me. But yeah, so I've got friends over at KMR. I've got my friend Kennedy Santos from Michigan there. A few of you guys are from, but they do. You're right, Kennedy. They do look like Fiamma a little. We do like to color coordinate, as you can see. I got Fiamma after Walt got his drums, and so that's when I saw this, I was like, I gotta have me some of that. So I actually looked for my drums to look like that, and then I started talking to Kennedy. You're there in the chat, and then to my good friend Paul, and you guys were the bad boys that were like, you need that guitar, and I went, yes, I do. You're right. Thank you. So you guys gave me permission. And Patrick, you're in Sheboygan, Michigan. All right. So clear sound now for Walt holding close is what he's saying. Thanks, Pamela. Yes, they are beautiful drums. I believe so, Shirley. I think so, too. So how many drum kits do you have? I know the guys want to know.
Okay, I have 3 drum sets. This is the Indie one. I also have the Yamaha Recording Customs, and then I have the drum set that was my dad that he bought in 1964. He walked into the Camco factory in Illinois and picked the drums out himself, like off the shelf, if you will. I mean, like while they were making them, and talked to the owner of Camco. And Camco is now has morphed into Drum Workshop. So they are classic. They sound lovely, but they're a little bit too big for this room. So that's why we don't play them too often. They're very large drums and very loud. So, and I think Loz is trying to figure out what the heck is going on with his sound.
All right, so your dad, tell us, I thought you were going to, since you were at the 1964 Camco drums, tell us about your dad's drumming, and did that affect you or influence you in any way?
Well, sure. Like I said earlier, my dad was a drummer. I did not know him, and I really wanted to be one. And I eventually met him, and my parents actually got remarried, or married for the first time when he came to visit. And so, yes, definitely he influenced my drumming, though he didn't have a lot of direct input. I was always watching what he was doing. And my dad played drums throughout his entire life. He played in different bands, everything from a Scottish marching band, which he thought was really cool, all the way to like modern jazz and fusion, big band, and then also he played in a country western band for a while, and then he was paid to play in the orchestra or the orchestra pit of musicals in the town that I grew up in. So yeah, my dad played throughout his entire life, which is really my hope, is to play through my entire life, because it's really, drums are like the coolest instrument ever.
Thanks for sharing. We still have some time, buddy, so we can slow down with our stories and all that. We do have. I just wanted to reassure you about that. So Walt is a very humble guy, and I'm not just saying that. He's one of my favorite musicians ever to play, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you the story because he's being a little too humble. I'm going to tell you how we met, all right? As you can see, he has a great eye for detail. And my band, in fact, Lyle is out in the chat today. Lyle plays bass, Lyle Peterson, and back then I was playing Lost and Found, is a band that we had, and the guys, Lyle and D-Set, you guys know him as D-Set, is Dustin Souther, and they're fantastic drummers, and something was going on in my life. The guys went out and got me a lead singer. Chris Casali is a fantastic baritone, just this great big rock and roll voice and a huge presence, louder and funnier and better looking than I am, which I'm sure you can believe. Anyway, Chris had made contact with a magnificent, but not just a very, very great photographer who was setting up a shot for a wedding the next day. Am I right? Okay, he was setting up a shot for a wedding for the next day, if my memory is correct. And as he's making his rounds out there, Chris had mentioned that we might be playing that night. It was a Friday night, and it was just an absolutely stunning location here, very close to Walt's home. And anyway, the band is having a really great set that night. And Walt is pretty much done, and he started to circle the venue and started proceeding to take the most magnificent shots that I've ever seen. And he got some really great pictures. In fact, you guys have seen him on my website at loscastromusic.com. loscastromusic.com. Shameless plug. Anyway, you've seen the really great black and white stills. And he was able to get the expressions. I kind of go somewhere when I'm playing. You guys have probably noticed that. But he was able to capture the essence, not just of me, but of Chris Casali, of Dustin Souther on the drums. He caught motion, emotion, and commotion. He caught all three things. And I was intrigued. And so after we got the photographs, we became friends. And I happened to ask him, someone who takes such incredible shots of musicians has to be a musician to understand what we're going through when we're in the midst of the performance. Am I right? And what did you say?
Yes. Yeah, I told him that I was a drummer. I hadn't played in a number of years, and I had recently inherited that drum set that was my dad's, and so I had started to play for the first time in quite some time.
All right, so you guys, he's a little too humble. So anyway, he did say, he goes, it's been like 20 years, and anyway, we fast forward, we became friends, and I had asked him if he wanted to have a jam session, and I had at that time, by the time that I reacquainted myself with him, he had asked me if I would take some photo shoots. And in the midst of the photo shoot, I realized that not only did he play well, but I confided in him that I had been diagnosed with cancer. Back then in 2017, I had I had a cancer scare. In other words, folks, I'm okay. I didn't die. Believe it or not, I didn't die. But he went to one of my gigs, and I looked gaunt and pale and a little, worse for the wear. And he said, you really should have somebody there with you just in case something happens. And I said, I agree. So we started playing together, and we recruited my good friend Lyle Peterson. And that's how we just started playing together. And then there were just two, just because that's just life. Lyle is now with DSET. They have a band called Pigeon Milk. Pigeon Milk, and in fact, they might be on this show pretty soon. As soon as they clear their schedule, they've got things going on. But so that's the story. So now, Walt and I have been playing at the Conquer Lounge as we're getting ready, preparing to play live. Yeah, there you go. Let me bring the camera around. See if you guys can see that. It says Sunday Blues. Can you see that right there? I just turned it, and maybe I need to get up a little bit closer. Anyway, Sunday Blues, another shameless plug. That's us. And anyway, we are trying to prepare. We don't know what's going to happen with COVID, but we're all rolling with the punches. We are all trying to stay creative. We are all trying to stay positive. And so we hope that you guys continue to show your love, and we love you guys. We love your support. And so with that said, I'm hoping that Walt will be joining me on the show more often than not, and he might be guest hosting. I'm kind of issuing the challenge or the invitation, if you will, Walt. And the camera loves him, even though he's a great photographer. The camera seems to like him. So I'm going to invite you folks to give us some suggestions as what you would like to see, to hear. Any questions that you have for Walt, let us know. Please chat. We're going to be completely honest and transparent in that we did not expect the kind of issues we've had, technical issues. Fortunately for us, I'm a little bit of a wild card, and I invite chaos sometimes. So, Hello Chaos. That's actually a band name that Walt was telling us. Hello Chaos. We're always talking about band names. So, what's it like to play with kind of a reckless musician like Los Castro? I'm speaking in third person. What's it like? Go ahead. Dump on me. The chat's on your side.
All right, so we had been talking earlier about perfection, and perfection is overrated. And that's one of the things is that Los plays with a structure that changes. And so one time you play something, the rhythm might be one way, and you played it the very next time, and it might be in a different feel entirely. And so you're walking that tightrope sometimes. Now, he's also a very forgiving and giving and generous musician, so he's also easy to play with. So there's that combination of you're going to walk a tightrope, but he's going to hold your hand a little bit. And so you get that excitement, but you also have that positive energy that comes back from him. And so that's really it's actually quite a bit of fun. And I wish people could be where I'm at when Los is playing. I wish that they could see what he's doing and the way he's moving and the kind of signals that he's sending. And then sometimes we talked about how when you're walking that tightrope, that something magical kind of happens, something very special kind of happens. And I get to see that from a very close distance. And there's been times when he's been doing a solo, and then suddenly he starts humming or singing over it, and it's not getting picked up by the mic, but I can hear it. And so that is a pretty exciting thing to do. Or you can see that he's going into a zone, and what was going to be a 16-bar phrase turns into a 68-bar phrase, if you will. And that can be pretty exciting because you don't know where it's going to go. So we have these swells that will build, and we'll have this energy that is just, you didn't know that's where the song was going. Recently, he played a song, and we were playing a bossa nova song, and he put in a White Stripes lick. So can you imagine trying to blend the White Stripes, big sound with something as delicate and as something as light and airy as bossa nova? And it worked. and it was fun, and the audience kind of noticed, and they all smiled, and it was fantastic. So it's pretty great.
All right, so he's being a nice guy because guilty. We were playing Mañana de Carnaval, and I decided to play Seven Nation Army. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, and it's just a way to connect with. We see the crowd moving in, and it just seemed funny to me how we had an older, very elegant crowd, and then a young, very young crowd came in, and then there was kind of like my age group came in, and it just dawned on me it was kind of like a Star Wars thing, bum 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 ba. And so that's why I did that. But with that said, I love this guy because he follows and think about this. You're like the chat. You're looking at me like the audience does, right? And so all he's doing is reading me from behind. So he has to look at my cues. He's looking at my shoulders, at my hand, a little look like this, or I'll get a little smile, or I'm stomping my feet in time, and he has to read all of that, right? So you guys have the benefit of reading my eyes and my hand gestures, and you see what my lips are doing when I'm trying to express feeling. But as a drummer, that's a really rare ability to have these huge ears, and I mean that in a really great compliment, buddy. He is watching from behind, and he has to interpret that chaotic movement, and he has to translate that, and he becomes, believe it or not, I'd like to say that he's more like the engine, and I'm kind of the udder. So we both have a very important job, and since it's just two of us, it's really important that we are very in tune with each other. In tune, yeah. So let's go into what are your influences since we're here, and then maybe we'll play a little song.
Okay. So I assume by influences you mean the musicians that influenced me the most. And for me, there was a drummer in San Diego named Johnny Payton. And he was a really awesome drummer in San Diego who kind of took me under his wings. So I would say him. I know he's not listening, but if he were, I'd love to give him credit, and I'd love for him to hear it. A dynamite guy and very, very generous. And that's one of the things about drummers, generally speaking, are extremely generous. And drummers hang out together, and if somebody's not as good as you, there's not or is better than you, there's not a lot of power dynamic problems. They will help you along, and you're expected to help others along. So Johnny Payton, and then as far as people that you might know, for sure, I love Buddy Rich. Where it's a different style. It's not one that I play, but I love. He's the greatest of all time, as far as I'm concerned, is Buddy Rich. And then also, let's see. Larnell Lewis is someone that I really, really like from Snarky Puppy. So that's it.
That's fantastic. Now, he and I, again, he's being humble. He and I went to meet Bernard Purdie, which is one of my biggest, I'm a huge fan of Bernard Purdie. And you guys have heard him and everything from Michael Jackson to, Aretha Franklin. And if you just YouTube Bernard Purdie, he is an incredibly magnetic personality. And he's like Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, Stevie Wonder. And he's dancing, and he's telling jokes, and he's smiling. And he's, 80 years old now? He's at least 80 years old, and he's a magnificent drummer. But anyway, we went to see him, and me being Los, I had to go meet him. So not only did I meet him, but we went and got an album, right? And he signed it. And so when Walt came out of the bathroom, I had that surprise for him. And then I asked him, will you take a picture? And absolutely, I took a picture of Walt with one of our heroes, with Bernard Purdie. And guess what? He learned the Bernard Purdie shuffle. And that's when he really won me over. You want to give us a little, you don't want to give us a little sample of the Bernard Purdie shuffle?
So the Purdie Shuffle is not difficult to play, but it's extremely difficult to play well. And, so I haven't played it in a bit. I'm a little bit cold. We haven't been playing much. I might sneak it in a little bit later during a song, but it's one that takes a lot of finesse. So I'm not quite ready for that.
Again, guys, he's a little too humble. Anyway, we're going to play a little bit more for you guys. There it is. Hey, go ahead. Play it. Ah.
There it is. There's the Purdy Shuffle. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and play a couple of songs for you guys because we don't want to bore you. Just follow my lead. I've been thinking about, wonder about you and me. I've been thinking about, wonder out loud, and thinking about, wonder about you and me. 'Cause even though we started out just as friends, we keep hoping that this feeling never ends. More than friends, you keep hiding. More than friends, stop your lying. More than friends, you keep saying that I'm just a friend. It's me you can depend on, and it's me you always lean on, girl. And we all know how that story always ends. It's me you always hold on, and it's me you can depend on, girl. And it's all this story always ends. More than friends, are we more than friends? Are we more than friends? Are we more than friends? I'm talking to you, found it. It's me you all depend on, and it's me you can depend on, friend. And we all know how that story always ends. And that's More Than Friends, which is what we are. More than friends, we're more like brothers. Chat, let us know any questions that you would have for Walt Saylor, the incredible Walt. And we are now in Walt's vault. And we did not play the waltz yet. That was not more of a reggae kind of, anyway. Do you guys have any questions? Shirley? She's a nice tune. Thanks for that. Any questions that you guys would have for Walt? So we've talked so far about how you started. Now, did you ever play professionally? And what kind of music did you play?
Well, I mean, I certainly played professionally with you on some fun gigs, but I have played in the past. When I was really young, I was in a band called the Succulent Greens in San Diego. That was pretty popular, I suppose, locally. And we had a certain amount of success, played a little radio play back in the early 90s, and did pretty well with that. But then my life changed. Big things happened in my life that were more important than music. And so I kind of left the music scene at that point. But yeah, that's kind of the big thing there.
Very cool. And now during COVID, did you stop playing, or what did you do? How did you fill your time?
Okay, so the beginning of COVID, because I thought it was going to last 3 months. I had heard that it was going to last 2 weeks, and then I figured, well, 3 months on the outside. So I dedicated myself to getting better at the drums, and so I practiced pretty much every day for about 3 months, and then COVID didn't end. Surprise, right? And so it was hard to maintain a practice schedule, but I do like to play. So just coming down and into this room here and practicing, even if it was just playing along to a record or if it was just jamming by myself for a little while, playing drums is just amazing. You can't stay away from them. They're just too cool. So if anybody is out there would like to be a drummer, I highly encourage you to just go do it, because it's just wonderful to express yourself in that way.
Okay, so 2 questions, really good ones. One is, are there any drummers that you emulate their style, and how long did it take you to emulate the technicality of playing the drums? That's a heavy loaded question there.
Okay, so I think John Bonham is the one drummer that everybody wants to be. That's the perfect rock and roll drummer, but he doesn't play technically stuff that's ridiculously difficult. He just plays it. He played it first, the sound, and then he played it in a way that just makes you want to move. And so I'd say that would be somebody that I would try to emulate. Though with our music, it doesn't particularly work well all the time. It's a little bit too muscular. That would be one. And then also Stuart Copeland from the Police would be someone that I would try to take things from. And his background would be sort of like punk and reggae and funk kind of all mixed together. And that's what you got with the Police, which was kind of a new drumming style. But it really has to do with where the beats go. There's less on, a fill doesn't end on one, like digga-digga-digga-digga-digga-digga, psh, doesn't end like that, right? It actually typically ends on the 4, which is what's in reggae. And so it's a little bit more, it's weird to play that way, but it's also really fun. Now, how long does it take to get to play like John Bonham or Stuart Copeland? I'm going to roll with a lifetime.
All right, and I'm going to kind of answer that with guitar. I'm not a true drummer. I'm a hand percussionist, and that's kind of what we had in common when we met. When I moved to Portland, I thought, hey, the world doesn't need another guitar player. So I was playing percussion around the Portland metro area until somebody told me, leave it to the better guys, and that you need to be focused on your real voice, which is guitar and voice. But anyway, my answer is these musical instruments are the easiest to pick up, the hardest to master, guitar and drummers. Yes, Pat, we are at Walt's house, but we like to call it Walt's Vault, because this is a room inside a room. So it's heavily sound insulated, am I right? Yeah. So it's heavily sound insulated. So the neighbors, to them, it sounds like there's a radio or record player that's playing far away. They don't really get to hear the full power of these drums or this guitar. And for today, I'm actually playing straight into the interface. This is kind of how I normally do this. So the neighbors don't hear anything from me. I'm just going into a Scarlett interface, and that's normally how we do this. Now live, somebody asked if we're enjoying playing on a weekly basis. Yes, very much so. It's very different when, I can't see you guys, right? You can see me. Same as him. What we're playing are very physical instruments, and it's really, it really helps to get feedback from the audience when you hear people smiling, laughing, or as we're packing up and they're like singing "Hearts Will Fall," and then you're like, "Oh man, they're playing our song," and that's really great. So you're getting feedback. You feel the air move from the instruments when they're plugged into the interface. You don't really feel anything coming back at you, coming from a living, breathing amplifier or living, breathing drums. You can get that out of an electronic drum, the sound, but not the feel. So I'm just answering for Walt right now because Walt doesn't have a microphone. But with that said, what do you enjoy about playing live?
Oh, wow. So playing live is absolutely the best, and it's different, obviously, than playing on Zoom, right? Because Zoom, in one way, feels like there's an audience. Of course, there is, but there isn't quite that energy that you get feedback from an audience, and every audience is different. And one of the things that I found pretty exciting that's happened a few times playing with Los is we go into a place, we go to play, and they're not really feeling our music. And it may be because it's not the genre that they were expecting or whatever. But to win them over, that they went from like not 100% like liking what we were doing to maybe even being fans or at least really appreciating what we're doing is a pretty cool experience. You know, now people are like really they got excited about something they didn't expect. And I think that's pretty cool. I like that. Also, when people give feedback, like when you can see their heads move, you can see their foot tap, you can see their bodies begin to to move around a little bit. Now you know they're liking what you're doing, and it really adds energy back to it.
Yeah, and there's something very physical that the audience has when they actually get to see you in person. You see on camera and you're like, oh, I wonder if he's like that in real person, right? Or I wonder if those drums sound better live. Or like Pat, he got to hear my amplifier, and you're like, oh, this feels and sounds completely different live. It really sounds much, much better, believe it or not. So with that said, guys, we really enjoy that you guys come on a weekly basis, and we love following you too, because we love the music that you guys, not only do you play, but you guys forward, both of us, you message us song that you think that we should be covering. That's getting harder and harder these days to do covers because of licensing and ASCAP and YouTube constrictions. So we're playing more and more originals. Like right now, we're gonna be playing a song that the original basis of it was dark, but what you're gonna hear is something kind of happy and kind of joyful and hopeful, and that's part of the experience that comes with playing live. And that's why I love playing with Walt, because something that may have started really simplistic all of a sudden takes a life of its own. So yeah, so. Like for example, like right now, I'm gonna start this. I'm not gonna tell him what I'm gonna play, but he's automatically gonna pick up. I'm not gonna hide. I'm gonna speak my heart to you tonight. I might have run, and yes, I did hide. Didn't know what I felt until that night. Save you, I need to save me, 'cause he doesn't even notice you're so wonderful. I'm gonna save your heart for you tonight. I'm gonna save my best for you tonight. It's what I'm gonna do. Doesn't even notice you're so beautiful. I'm gonna save your heart for you tonight. I'm gonna stay and find I know it's right. It's what I'm gonna do. See that? He reads the cues. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I got a reverb back. That's nice. All right, so I'm going to read a little bit of what the chat has to say to see, okay, that sounds like you enjoy playing live to get the message you relay to the audience. Thank you, Shirley. Very insightful. That takes skill on the drummer's part to create a beat for your song or music. Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's why I wanted you guys to know who Walt Saylor is, what Walt Saylor is. And Kennedy asked a really interesting question. What are we going to learn about Walt that we don't know now? Because you guys always hear me talk about him. It's because every band needs a little bit of structure, right? Every band needs a groove. So I like to say this, and I don't know, do you believe the same thing, that if groove is king, melody is queen? Do you believe that?
I do now.
Yeah, okay, he does now. But the thing is, the melody without any kind of, it's like you need a skeleton to hold the body up, right? You may have muscles and sinew and tendons and ligaments and all that, but you need something to hold it together. And the drums provide that. Let me give you an example. I'm going to play, again, now this is something that he knows a lot better. This is a little bit of bossa nova. And I played in my style. It's a little bit of grit, like Pat Tice is saying, a little bit of grit. But watch what he's going to do. I have a little bit of, there's a push and pull. And then he reins it in. He creates this backdrop, right? Azul, la mañana es azul. No sé si mañana vendrá. Se detendrá en su luz, porque encarnado no sé si mañana vendrá, no sé si el sol saldrá. Se detendrá en su luz, porque encarnado. See? Those little flourishes, that's just a little look at each other, and that's symbiotic. That's what I'm talking about. That's what a really good drummer does. It kind of gives you the structure that you need, so that you can kind of, I'm just the chords or just the lyrics, but he's really giving it that basis, that foundation, the infrastructure, if you will, right? So in public, I'm letting you know this is how much I appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah. And he's wearing a cap. I should be wearing the cap to doff it. Thanks, Pamela. So if you guys ever come around to Portland, we are looking for a little home. Right now, we found a temporary home. If you're out there, William, Conquer Lounge, that's a place we like to hang out. We'll be there every Sunday. Sunday the 10th, I will be online for another event, so we're not going to be playing that day. But I believe for the duration of summer, we will be playing on Sunday nights from 6 to 8. But you guys can keep track of us on loscastromusic.com or any social media at loscastromusic. But you will be seeing, I guarantee, a lot more of this gentleman here, of Walt Saylor. Are there any covers that we do that you like, Walt, that you enjoy, that we play?
The one that we play when we play it well, and we play it really well sometimes, actually, is "Ain't No Sunshine." When we play that well, it's really quite nice. I really enjoy playing that one, though. That's walking that tightrope again, right? That, for whatever reason, that one, I like that one. What's your favorite one? Or maybe "Money" is a good one. I like that one. Kind of a bluesy version of "Money" that we do. I like that one.
Yeah, that's that. That works. That works.
Or Watermelon Man.
Okay, so
yeah.
Should we do? We could do "Money Can't Buy Me Love." We kind of do a little mashup with that. We can try to do that. I figured he was gonna pick something like that. Or "Ain't No Sunshine" is something people ask a lot. Or "Wild World." But why don't we do that? The "Money Can't Buy Me Love." Yeah. See what you guys think of this. 2, 3, 4. My friend, if it makes you feel alright. Buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love, can't buy me love, no. Can't buy me love. Walt Saylor. Can't buy me love, no, no. Can't buy me love, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't buy me love. Last word. Yeah, you got it. Anyway, that's a good example of how having a really fun, expressive drummer, he's very dynamic. And what I mean by that is very nuanced. Sometimes we have to play venues that are very small. Not as small as this, but almost
Pretty close.
pretty close. Yeah, they're really small. coffee houses and lounges, and sometimes we get to play larger venues. Not lately, but sometimes we play like the Chocopalooza. Is that what they used to call it? Or at food courts, little festivals where families are all going. Children and it's sometimes even elderly people. We've played at the Ackerley. Friday Night Bites in downtown Hillsboro. The Ackerley was really fun because it's not your father's grandpa anymore. I mean, it's all, what is it? It's not your daddy's Cadillac. It's not your. It's a whole new group that these people. You're like, what would you like to hear? And they're like, do you know any Eric Clapton? And you're like, what? Really? It's late in the evening. You know, they're not. It's a different crowd now. They grew up on rock and roll in the 50s sometimes. And so, but anyway, sometimes the venues need us to be very quiet. And sometimes maybe backyards, Pamela. Yes. If you invite us to play your backyard party, yeah, we just might show up. Yeah. Time and place and details, you know how to get a hold of me. Hey, it's okay. We will play for, yeah, don't feed the musicians like animals. Just throw money at them. If you feel violent, wrap your $20 bills with quarters and throw them in at me, you know. Or what's the other corny thing that I say? Hey, tell you what, let's make a deal. If you love our music, tell everybody you love, and if you hate our music, only tell people you hate.
You need to let me finish that. You need to start it and then let me.
I'll start it and then you finish it. Right. All right. So anyway, I've had to find somebody who is dynamic, who can play nuance, who can play quietly, who can play forcefully. We have to make do in these days, right? Anyway, let's play another coverage. Should we play "Ain't No Sunshine"? Are we feeling up to it?
Okay, we can try.
Okay, and you stop it and tell us, and then I'll just follow you, right? Here we go. Ain't no sunshine. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This time's gone too long. Anytime she goes away. I wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This time's gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Well, I know, I should leave young girls alone. This old house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Anytime she goes away. Oh no. Anytime she goes away. Every time she goes away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Every time she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. how's that for nuance? Thank you very much, Pamela, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Since we started a little late, we could just play a little more. You okay with that? All right. We're gonna slow things down a little. This is a little song that we call Luna.
Algún amor que nada más genuino, sincero, no me has hecho ver claro, no, que nada más queda un no. Luna, yo te resguiré sin tu amor. Yo no sé cuando algo me atormenta, me traes paz a mí. Y si algo quema mi, aquietas mi dolor. Eres la niña de mi vida, pequeña luz, eres mi guía. Yo te seguiré sin tu amor. Yo no sé. Luna, yo te seguiré sin tu amor. Luna, hey Luna, yeah. Luna, mi Luna. Yo te seguiré, sigue siendo luna.
Walt Sailor.
Luna, eres luna.
Very nice ending. I got chills, guys. I'm not lying. Look at that. Oh, he got me. He got me good. Those are my feelers, my little antennas there. And I hope you guys like that, Luna. That's another band original. Should we do Por Ti?
Okay. Do you want to, not the new way though.
Okay.
Do you want to do it the new way?
No, let's do it the old way. All right. This is Por Ti.
Now I've come to realize I'm in love with you. So what am I to do? Lo hice por ti. I did it for you. Did it for me. Well, I did it for you. I did Those last words I felt the chill. What we need is close to heal. I'm in love with you. So what more can I do? I did it for me. I did it for you. And can't you see? I did it for you. I walked away now. Ooh, I did it for you. I did it for you. I did it for me. I did it for you. Yeah, Walt. Come on, Walt.
Last word? Yeah, he got the last word in. I like that. All right, we're going to go fast into the next song. This is about the little things. Hope you guys like that. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Talk to me the way we used to talk in the middle of the night. Talk to me the way we used to talk before we fuss and fight. Oh, those tiny little things. Oh, those tiny little things. Come to me the way we used to talk in the middle of the night. Talk to me just so gently. Pillow talking, gentle kisses. This is what I mostly miss. It's the little things. It's the little things that I will miss. Oh, those tiny little things. Oh, those.
Come on, Walt. Show 'em what you got. Oh, nice. That's it. Okay. Play nice.
Oh, those tiny little things. Oh, those tiny little things.
Yeah, nice quiet ending. This seems like a good enough spot to end. Unless you guys have something to ask Walt. Because I think he's a fascinating guy. You guys are fascinating. I'm enthralled by the chat. The fact that you guys came back after, well, we had a reboot. That's incredible. Thank you so much for that. We love you guys. I'm not just liking you Foundits. I love you Foundits for your tenacity, your stubborn support. I love that fact. Let me take off a little bit of the reverb. For keeping up, yeah, we promise that the sound will be better next time. It's a growing experience. We grew some. At least I can say that we grew. It was gruesome. It was gruesome, and we grew some. Learning how to use the OBS software and all that. Yeah. Anyway, you guys all know we're all adapting. It's a Zoom world now, and it's a YouTube world now, and so we're learning a little bit. We appreciate it. BM Channel says, Walt, appreciate good music. We will wait. We wait. Yes, you did. I thought it said Walt. Every time I see wait and Walt, right. It's the same thing. Right, wait, Walt. You will waltz forever. I got to bring the mic over to him because I know you guys, you need to hear more Walt, less me. Thank you very much, Shirley. Walt, is there any parting words, any words of wisdom for the young musicians, young and old?
I don't know, hook up with a musician like Los, who's going to put you on the spot and make you walk that tightrope. Even on those last couple of songs we did, the arrangement changed on the fly, which was super fun, which actually makes it really exciting music from a musician standpoint. But as far as advice for musicians is actually just play. If you're a musician and you want to play, go play right now. If you want to play drums, just don't be afraid to hit them. I know that sounds really dumb, but don't be afraid to try. And I think that's the big thing that holds people back. When people sit down behind my drum set who don't play drums, there's two kinds of people. There's ones who beat it to death and have a ball, and the people who are afraid to touch it. And so if you're afraid to touch the drums or the instrument, don't be. You can do it. It's a lot of fun, and musicians do love you.
Where can we find you?
On Instagram at Walter Saylor, @Walter Saylor.
Have a website that we can find you at?
You can find my photography website at waltersaylor.com. That's it.
Anything that we can look forward to on that website?
No.
Oh, okay.
Pretty pictures. No, and then also I will be playing with Lost on Sundays at between 6 and 8. And then also on July 23rd, I will be playing a Gladys and the Night tribute that's going to be in Portland. So if you're interested in that, you can contact me. It's going to be a fun night. There are going to be 4 different singers, and I'm just part of the band that's backing the singers.
Which singer are you backing?
All of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's 22 songs.
22 songs. He's going to be a rating chart, something that I cannot do. Just full disclosure. Deborah Patton is a musician here in Portland who contacted me and said, who is that terrific guy behind you? And I had to tell her, I cannot say a lie. It's me. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's Walt. It's Walt Saylor. And so we're really happy that you guys joined. We're hoping that I'm putting him on the spot right now, that he'll join me on the chat. I'll be in my home and he'll be here, but maybe he can guest host with me every now and then. Would you guys like that? Let us know in the chat. And then when we go live from the Concord Lounge, you'll be seeing him. And now you know who Walt Bush or Walt Saylor is. That's his musician's name. Just like my name is Carlos Gabriel Castro Soto. Just call me Los. That other guy belongs in a tuxedo, and I'm not going to wear a tuxedo in summer heat. No, thanks. So Los works for me. On behalf of Walt Saylor, thanks so much for dropping by to your Walt's Vault. Driving by your own home, letting me crash the party here at Walt's Vault. Thanks to you guys for showing up. And next week, you guys will have, I guarantee, another enjoyable show. Hang in there, guys. Stay cool. Now you know you can always chill right here at the Lounge of Sound, most Fridays from 6 to 8. Behave, be good, enjoy your family, check in real time. Don't forget, guys, that gentleman right there playing those awesome drums, Walt Saylor. Give it up for him, and keep in touch. We promise we're going to get a little better at this technical stuff. I hope. All right, guys, we see you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. See you guys next Friday. Bye.